So as many of you could tell, even just me being up here, not even looking at my outfit and colorful pants and vest and everything, you can see my 5 different hair colors in my hair, that I'm a strange person. And I've always been strange. My family has a saying that there's no such thing as a normal person, because a normal person would be exactly like you, and that would be weird. So as a kid, one of my favorite games in the whole world to play was Opposite Day. Saying it was Opposite Day. I would wear my clothes completely wrong, wear my pants on my head and my shirt backwards, and I would do this multiple days out of the year. I'd call myself a different name often, something strange like Jim Bob, or Fredericia was a common one. I'd eat dinner on the floor, or I'd try to drink water out of my hands. Sometimes I'd even try to get away with doing something bad by claiming it was Opposite Day, which never worked, and I'd always get in trouble, but I'd still try. At this point in our world, though, sometimes I feel like we live in a constant state of Opposite Day. We don't have to dig deep to find headlines that affirm this, where the truth is not always taken as the truth, and lies are sometimes assumed as the truth, or truth is sometimes the lies. We're steeped in a society where now we have so many opinions, so many thoughts around, it's hard to wade through what is actually factual. We have computers that can doctor images. You can take out complete people from pictures. I myself am pretty skilled with Photoshop. I could take a picture right here and take out everyone so that it was just the church, even though that wasn't the original picture. Objective facts that we find sometimes for all intents and purposes no longer exist or matter. The truth is false and the false is true, and anything can mean anything, and it's Opposite Day. So what does this sobering reality mean and have to do with this lectionary about Jesus? Well, this week we celebrate the reign of Christ. It's right before Advent, where it's a long period of waiting and patience, where we wait for the coming of Christ. So we want to learn what it is he's bringing. What kind of king will Jesus be? What will his rule look like? What does it mean to live under his kingship? Do we see Jesus? So in thinking about what his kingship will be, we're fast forward to the end of his life on earth. We see Jesus humbled. We don't see him on a mountaintop thundering around him. We don't witness one of his spectacular miracles. We don't see him rising from the waters at his baptism. We see Jesus physically and emotionally exhausted. He's arrested and harassed and hungry and abandoned and sleep-deprived and standing before the notoriously cruel Pontius Pilate for questioning. If I were going to write a kingly scene about Jesus, this is not one that I would write, not one that I would think of. But the reality of it is that this is Jesus as our King. One who is wiped of everything and still rules, still loves everyone. A dead man walking, a man who is broken, a man who is being hated by his own people and still chooses love. So what does this have to do with our society of truth and untruth? I consider the exchange taking place between Jesus and Pilate asking, "Are you a king?" Repeatedly, asking, "Are you a king?" And Jesus' response is probably not what he wants. And he says, "You say that I'm a king," implying that Pilate's question is the wrong question to be asking, and that maybe Pilate's assumptions about power and kingship might be irrelevant to the ways of God, to the ways of him. Then Jesus continues, "For this I came into the world to testify the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice." Pilate's response echoes down to us across the ages, a question to end all questions: what is the truth? When we live in a constant opposite day, what is exactly the opposite? We might never know if Pilate asks, "What is the truth?" out of contempt or curiosity or hunger or anger, but it doesn't really matter because Jesus doesn't respond. That is, he doesn't respond with his words. He doesn't engage Pilate in a philosophical debate or dialogue and offer the governor a bumper sticker. Instead, Jesus embodies his own reply in the whole of his life, saying, "You're looking at it. You're looking at the truth. I am the truth." In other words, the truth isn't an instrument or a weapon or a slogan. The truth is Jesus, the life of Jesus, the way of Jesus, the love of Jesus. He himself is the truth's most complete and complex embodiment. So then, what does it mean in our post-truth era to worship a king of truth? What does it mean to belong to the truth in a culture that increasingly denies the truth? Perhaps most importantly, how can we bear witness to the truth? As I reflect on this gospel passage, it seems to me that one of the most urgent tasks facing the church is forging a urgent and gracious and trustworthy relationship to the truth, to trust truth. If Jesus came to testify the truth, if he is the truth, if he is the king of truth, then what do we, his subjects, do for our king? What does our loyalty to truth look like when sometimes we don't even know what the truth is? So the truth is king, something substantial that we can hold on to. If the truth is king, then it's not self-deception. If the truth is king, then it's not lazy relativism. If the truth is king, then it's not distorting inconvenient facts for our own political, racial, social, cultural, religious views. Even as I had typed these words, I'm aware of the church's long and shameful tradition of using the truth to abuse its own power, for sometimes us using that truth. Too often we have excelled at using the truth to colonize and enslave and reject and dehumanize other people. But we have to look at this passage of Jesus, our King, shackled with nowhere to go, as the truth. That is the truth we look forward to. That is the truth that we should teach. The truth he embodies is life, death, and resurrection. It's not a self-sufficing way. It is a self-giving way. It does not serve to bolster his own power or authority. It humbles him, it empties him, and it takes away his life. As far as I can tell, Jesus doesn't have any privilege or any version of the truth that sidesteps from humility, surrender, and sacrificial love. He doesn't secure his own prosperity at the expense of others. He doesn't allow holy ends to justify the debased means. He doesn't make honesty optional when the truth strikes him. And he never aligns himself with the brute, dishonest power to guarantee his own success. He doesn't stop preaching knowing that he was going to die. This is our King. This is who we worship. This is who we come to every day to praise the truth. So then I have to ask, can we stand for the truth as he does? Can we belong to the truth as he does? Can we tell and keep telling the beautiful, hard, cutting, joy-filled and pain-filled truth about Jesus, the gospel of Jesus, and the whole extent of his power? Soon, next week, which seems way too soon, we enter into Advent, into Christmas finally. However, it's a season of waiting, and longing, and listening. We walk into the expected darkness, waiting for a light to shine, for the truth to finally come to earth and reveal itself, for the first cries of a vulnerable baby in a manger, who will redefine kingship, authority, and power forever. Yes, sometimes we might have a good reason to fear the erosion of truth, to fear that in our lives we have opposite day and that we accept opposite day. But we are also not a people without hope, because opposite day is only for one day. Or in the case of 5-year-old me, about 1 minute. The King who reigns, the King of truth, will not abandon us. The truth lives in him, and the truth lives in us. Amen.